want you to be in a halo.
We're good.
Is that enough light?
I think
Are we good?
so. Yeah, sure.
Look, I've got the halo too.
You've got the halo. Look, the top of your head today.
Yeah, I was trying to get you out of those.
No, it's all
that
right.
window. Okay,
It's all right. That's pretty good.
All right,
That's
it
pretty
looks a little
good.
yellow. I'm not sure. Let me turn on the other light.
We'll play with the lights for a minute. We're a few minutes late getting on today, and I apologize. That is my fault. That's better. Stuff, it only helps to put stuff on your calendar if then you pay attention to the calendar, and I didn't do that this weekend very well. So,
and it's not like Aaron to not be here when I roll up, and so I waited for a while. I thought, well, maybe she's coming, maybe she's running late, and then about 10 minutes till, I thought, let me text her and just make sure she remembered we were doing this today.
So. Remembered? Of course, I didn't remember, but here we are. We're here now.
We're so glad you are here with us. In case you forgot what we looked like and what our names are, because it has been a hot minute.
It's been, yeah.
Yeah. I'm Debbie, and I own the shop here in Midlothian, just outside of Richmond, Virginia. We are Dances with Wool.
And my name is Erin, and I'm the store manager. As always, at the top of everything we do, we like to remind people you can shop us in person. We're open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Mm-hmm. You can shop us online 24/7 in your PJs from your couch. And we will link our website, which also is a place where you can sign up for a weekly email newsletter and learn more about our classes and all that good stuff. You can get to that all from our website. We'll link that in the description box down below, as well as links to everything, patterns and stuff that we talk about today, once we're no longer live. So once we're no longer live, you'll be able to come to this video, and all the helpful links will be right there in the description box.
Yeah. So like we said, it has been a hot minute since we've been here. We have been so busy. Right after we did our last podcast, we went right into birthday, holidays. We had tennis. We had.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, we've had a lot happen, and so so we, and you had, I guess, some family things planned in there too, where she was off, and then I was off for a little. Anyway, but we're glad to be back with you today. So to catch you up, I guess Christmas. You guys had. You guys did a cruise.
Yes, my family and I went on a cruise for a few days. That was nice. Wasn't terrible. Guys, it's still like December, January. Nassau is not it's not the tropics. So it wasn't like super, super hot, but it was warm. It was nice. We got to spend a day on the beach. So
you got to be with family.
So and I got to be, with my parents. So that was good. But now it's 2024.
I know. And so, it's been, I was glad to see the calendar turn this year.
It's been a year.
It's been a year. And I won't lie, guys, it's been a real struggle. This thing about running a business isn't for sissies. I found out.
No.
But to kind of bring you up to date, we kind of went a little over a year ago into a small shop, into expanding our services, and into bringing in spinning and weaving. And we wanted to be able to increase the amount of classes we could have in the shop. So we needed a designated classroom to do that. So we started, we moved over to this space. And I think the best analogy is that one of my business coaches said it's like going from a rowboat to steering a yacht.
Mm-hmm.
And it has taken us probably the entire, I would say,
it's the entire
year of 2023 to start figuring out how to steer a yacht. And not start figuring out, because I think we all knew that it was going to be an adjustment, but to figure out the best way to steer this yacht. And so we've spent a year working our butts off to figure out the best way to move forward into the space with the services that we offer. And it flew by the year. I was looking back the other day and realizing we've done so much in 1 year, but it has flown by. But I feel like the last quarter, October, November, December, we started really getting our feet under us and really starting to blossom in this space. And we're getting where we need to be. We're able not to look back so much, but to really look forward and have our sights set on what we really want this space to be for our community, for our customers. So so it's been, back to the fact that, I was really ready to see
see the back of 2023.
To see the back of 2023. But yeah, we've got some really, really good things happening this year. I really feel like everything is so totally looking up. So one of the first things that we have our sights set on is we're doing our 7th. I couldn't believe it.
I know, yeah.
7th
annual Yearlong Knit-along. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, specifics about that a little bit later. But yes, signups for 2024 are open. They will be open through January 20th. So if you're watching us live now, or you watch it sometime here in the next couple of days after we post it, you have until January 20th to sign up for the Yearlong Knit-along. And I'll link more info. Like I said, we'll talk more about that a little bit.
And that's always a fun time. And just an afterthought to what Erin was saying, any of you who are watching us that are not local, you can hop on this as well. So she'll give you more details about that, but don't feel like you have to be here in our area to participate in this. This is one of those, one of those activities that goes for the year, and Erin has it all on a platform she'll talk about in a few minutes that you're able to get, everything, the exact same thing that all of our local customers are getting. So yeah, we'd love to have you if you're not local. We've had some people
international. We've had some international participants before.
So, and it's gone really well. So we'd love to have you jump on with us, and we'll give you more details about that. The other thing that we have going on is, for those of you who don't know, our James River Yarn Crawl has shifted to April from May. I know Erin is so excited. Shifted to April. And it'll be the 5th through the 13th this year, 5 shops, 9 days. It's going to be fun. And we are in full drive planning for this thing. And each shop is going to be doing some very unique things. They have some very unique offerings, and not only with their merchandise, but with their events that they have that are going to be going on. Oh yeah, there you go.
Save the date.
And we'll, I'll get Erin to put that information too in the notes. But the other thing that we just decided on that's so exciting, we have 2 new designers for this year's crawl, a knit designer and a crochet designer, who have been hard at work getting those patterns designed. That will be our make-along for this James River Yarn Crawl. And they just went into testing this weekend. So we'll be having samples in the store soon for that. Exclusive colorways, trunk shows, all the fun you come to expect with the Yarn Crawl. But it'll be April 5th through the 13th. And so we're excited to get all of that. In fact, it's been off the ground since October.
I was about to say, behind the scenes, behind the scenes, we've been working for a few months now.
But at this point, it's full steam ahead, and we are in the actually getting things ordered and getting ready for actually stocking the shelves and getting all of our events lined up. So yeah, keep checking back on our website. That is always the best place to find information. We'll be I'm going to shoot for the end of January to have the page, as far as our exclusive page on our website that we will be doing, and our activities and times and things. I'm shooting for the end of January, maybe 1st of February, give me another week to get that done. But James River Yarn Crawl website, jamesriveryarncrawl.com. Will also keep information on their site that's more general for the whole crawl. So keep an eye on that. So yeah,
it's exciting.
Yeah. So Lots of things going on.
As always. So if you don't get our weekly email newsletter, we always plug that. You can sign up for that on the website, and following us on social media is great, and keeping an eye on the website is great, but really the newsletter, I feel like, is the best way to keep up with everything and to make sure you don't miss anything.
And yours today, if you're subscribed, will be coming through before this website, before this ends. But
yes.
So check your email.
Yes.
All right. So what we're wearing.
Well, you go first because I ran out the door with my hair on fire and without my hat that I was going to wear. So what are you wearing, Debbie?
Well, I did finish this. This is the Super Simple Summer Sweater by Hawley. It is the same. You know how you just go to a show and you see it on the mannequin or hanging, and you go, okay,
I have to have that.
That color.
In that color.
So I was in the Loop booth, which, as we've talked about this yarn before. It's a yin and yang yarn. So
it's 2 3-ply.
I was going to say 3-ply.
They're 3-ply yarns.
Yeah.
One is 2 plies of orange and 1 ply of black, and then the other one is 2 plies of black and 1 ply of orange.
I love it. It's just it's my oversized sweater. Now
that's great. I need to make one of those.
It is. It's one of those that is a good sweater. I mean, you can do it in a solid.
What yarn weight is it? Was it worsted?
It was worsted.
Worsted.
Yeah, but it's a nice sweater, and it's oversized, and it's, which is, like I said, what I like. So this was a finished object in December, and I don't know if I said it. I bought it at Vogue Knitting Live. Happy New Year to you, Marcy.
Yep.
So so your hat is
but we did Inspire Me back in December about the Chelsea chunky hat. Debbie and I each made one. So I've posted pictures about it before. You've probably seen it before. I meant to wear it, and like I said, I just ran out the door with my hair on fire. But it's an actual finished object for me, and we know that doesn't happen very frequently. So I am sorry I did not bring it.
You can't be hard on yourself like that. You have been working hard on.
Oh, just wait till we show you the whip, so you'll see exactly why I don't ever have a finished object. I'm going to show you in just a minute.
Oh gosh! So since you didn't have your finished object, you go ahead and show what you are.
Well, so I mean, I do.
So you didn't have
yes, I mean, I did finish. So the gnomes, I've packed them away. So my December mystery knit along gnomes from Schira are part of my Christmas decorations. So they get packed away when it's not the holidays. But this was this year's gnome.
I didn't see it finished. Yeah. I saw the pieces and parts as people were putting it up.
And this year was a twofer. So we also made a gnome snowman. So there's my snowman, a snowman, as my daughter so lovingly referred to him. So we made a snowman and a gnome. So it was 2 pieces this year.
That's adorable.
So I did have those done.
How many years have you done that?
Every year she's done it. So this was year.
Because you've done it every year.
I have. Yes, I've done it every year that she's done it. So this is my full gnome set up.
So cool.
So 1, 2, 3. This was year 4.
Okay.
This was year 4. That's right, because she started in 2020. So this was year 4.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's awesome.
It was good. It was good.
It's adorable. They are so cute.
Yeah. So those are my finished objects. I took this.
And she has many more patterns. It's not just the knit along.
Tons. Yeah. If you are interested in getting into making, and the little gnomes are fun because they're small, so you can get them done fairly quickly. She's got tons and tons and tons. I'll link her website in the description box because she's got all kinds of tips and tricks. She's got video tutorials about how to do all the little fiddly bits. Not that they're that fiddly, but with tips about making them easier and all that good stuff. So
All right. So,
But you've got a couple of other finished objects.
yeah. So I did Advent this year. I thought I was biting off a little bit more than I could chew with sock Advent knitting.
Mhm.
So I did, but I
But you
finished
did.
them.
You did. I'm impressed.
I finished them by the end of December.
yeah.
So I started them on the 1st, finished them by the end.
Mhm.
A little bit different. This one is the Woolens and Nosh sock Advent. Loved the colors this year. I thought they were really pretty.
So if you're not familiar, there are a lot of indie dyers out there that will dye these colorways where it's you do one stripe a day. There's 24 colors. In this case, Debbie, went through the 24 and then started over again to make her socks a little longer. But there's dyed 24 color stripes. So the idea is you knit one stripe a day from December 1st through Christmas Eve, and then you would have a finished pair of socks. But Debbie likes hers longer, so she kept going.
I do an 8-inch, and I use the Crazy Sock Lady to and I've said this before on this podcast, but I typically use 2 9-inch needles. So because I get a jog if I do magic loop, and I cannot stand double points. So at least this way I'm still knitting in the round, and I use it for the whole thing. So I never have to take them off the 9-inch needles, which is nice. I got a contrast gray for heels and toes. I got that. You can order it with the Advent. I was afraid I had very little left at the end. I find that on a mini skein, you can't get toes, heels, and cuffs.
It depends on the size of your sock and how long you like your cuffs.
Oh,
I
okay.
can get
You can
toes, heels, and cuffs, but I knit my socks in a size 0 a lot of times because my tension's a little bit looser. And you make a really nice long cuff. I get about, I can do 12 rows. And then
so what you
the ribbing,
get.
I just want to poke my eyes out. So I only ever do I do 12 rounds. So I can do 12 rounds and I can get my toes and heels.
Okay. So I do 20.
Yeah. And that's then, why you can't get the
and
toes.
Then I do the heel flap and gusset.
Right.
And then, so this one, I ended up having to do toes, just finish it. Yeah. Finish the toes.
But I think it's really cute with the the stripy toes. I like the stripy toes.
And then this was the Cozy Knitter one, which she departed this year. She said she was going to do something a little different, and you can kind of see she went more with the fades.
I think that's pretty.
But I thought it turned out really pretty. Again, I decided to just I did not use the contrast on the heels this time. I did the stripy heels, and then I did the contrast toe and the cuff. But again, same pattern. I think that's what I love so much about the these Advent knit-alongs in the self-striping yarn is my goal is just to do a stripe a day. If I do a stripe a day, if I do an 8-inch cuff, if I and my regular foot length, if I do that, then there's only a couple days in there where I have to I can get them done in about 35 days, I guess, about that. This takes a little longer. It takes a little more than just doing the time it would take you to do a stripe. And I'm one that when I get to the heels, I have to do the whole thing at once, because if I put it down, it's not good. So, but it's just a generic top down, or cuff down, cuff to toe sock pattern, which that's about all I want to handle.
And that's fine. That's what makes it great for December knitting, because
these drove me absolutely batshit crazy. I'm sorry. Excuse the language. These are my Dublin socks finally finished. Both of them together. Go back and look at the previous podcast when I talk about what happened when I knit the whole leg and tried to get it on and it wouldn't fit. So I had to frog the whole thing. In that video, I tell you what I learned about stranded knitting with socks. So I can't say, Erin, when I finished these things, I took them like this and threw them in the drawer. It was like, I don't want to look at them for a while but anyway, whenever I do look at them, I'm hoping in the future, or as we go on, I'm hoping I will remember Dublin and Ireland in general,
and not the sock.
knitting process. This is one of those things where the product, I hope, and the yarn and
you just put it in your drawer, put it in the back, and pull it out next fall, and you'll be like, "Oh, look at these nice socks." Yeah, it'll be fine. You'll get there.
Yeah. So that is and then
talk about your
So this was fun. I've got to say, I went to Rhinebeck this last year, and I bought this. Okay.
Little kit?
No, it's not a kit. It was I had animal matter in it, like hay and stuff like that.
Minimally processed. We call that a minimally processed farm yarn, and it's veg matter. We call that veg matter in the spinning world.
So I actually wore this on. It was so nice and cozy. So it is minimally processed. It is a breed of yarn. I don't even think it had the breed on the tag. But it is called
wool. Yeah.
Yeah, it is wool. It's 100% wool. It's very rustic.
It feels like a Leicester, one of the Leicesters, maybe a border Leicester or a Lincoln, maybe. It feels like a lawn wool to me, like those sheep that have the really long, curly.
I think that's what it said on the tag, that it was a lawn wool.
It feels like a lawn wool.
And
it's got a little bit of sheen to it, ever so slightly. And that's common with lawn wools. They have, because their sepal length is so long and they have such a small amount of crimp, they just have the big kind of wavy curls. The less crimp, the more shine.
Yeah. So anyway,
for the day.
I got it at Rhinebeck, and in this little booth, and I just had decided, it was their first year at Rhinebeck, and I had this pattern in mind. It is called Friend to Friend by Leslie Friend. I liked it a lot because I wanted something warm on my neck and something over my shoulders. I had sought a yarn that was basically a blank palette because I wanted to learn to do embroidery from this book that Erin has already successfully tried. So basically, this book tells you how to do embroidery on knits, and I'm seeing it everywhere.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
And do you know, I opened my Sundance catalog the other day, and it had sweaters with embroidery. I mean, looks like hand knit sweaters with all this embroidery on the sweaters. So it is coming. As far as I don't think it's a fad so much as one of those trends that we may see for a while.
Well, it's a great way to jazz up a plain stockinette stitch without having to do so, where you can make your whole item and then at the end decide where you want. And if you just want it apart, you don't want to do color work on the whole thing, but you want some color on just part of.
So I haven't gotten to that part yet. This is blocked. I'm wearing it. I actually just wore it with a pen the other day, and it was lovely. In this book, there are patterns in the back, and you see these patterns throughout the book that they have actually, you'll see what it looks like on a garment. So in the back are the patterns. The stencils,
the templates that you can trace over.
So basically what you do is, I'm going today to get the stabilizer, and a stabilizer is one of those, I've seen them two ways. When I was doing some quilting, you could lightly iron it on to make it stay in place, which I won't do, or it's just one of those the things that you're going to trace and put it in a frame.
Yes, because with embroidering on knitwear, as opposed to embroidering on something like this, right? Very, very fine machine made stuff. This fabric's not uniform enough to hold embroidery stitches. So you have the interfacing goes underneath. You just put it in like a hoop with the fabric. You embroider on top, and it's the wash away kind. So it'll wash away, but it provides you the stabilization while you're doing the embroidery.
So the good news is you don't have to freehand it. You've got it traced. You've got it traced onto the stabilizer. The stabilizer is going onto here, and then you're embroidering over it. And what the book does a good job of doing, it teaches you how to do
Yes,
it.
walks you through the
Walks you
whole
through it.
process.
But then when you get the design, it tells you exactly what stitch it is. And then you refer back in the book to see how to do that stitch. So you have the stabilizer going on the fabric and with the design, and then you are embroidering it based on what it tells you here, the stitches to use. And then you just soak off the stabilizer, and then you have the embroidery. So I am in the process of choosing which of these that I want to
put
do,
on your,
and then I'm going to have it embroidered. So hopefully by the next podcast, I can show you how that's going to happen. But the book comes with it. It comes with the patterns and all. It's lovely.
We are out right now. We have sold through multiple runs of this book. They are doing a third printing. We are this week going to put up pre-orders on our website for that third printing. We're only going to order, I think, as many as we pre-orders we get. We're only going to order that many copies because this stuff comes from Finland, guys. Finland shipping, the shipping on it kills us. So if you want a copy, if you missed out on embroidery on knits, check our website this week. Watch for the pre-order. It should go up either today or tomorrow. Jump on it and pre-order it so that you can get your copy, because this will be it. We won't. And we're also going to have a pre-order for a brand new Lana book that we'll tell you about.
Yeah, that we'll just tell you about very soon. All right. So what are your
so I technically
FOs?
have another FO, but I'm going to tell you, this is why I tell you I never have finished objects. And this is why I have more whips than you want to even hear about. These are the Boyland socks by Caitlin Hunter out of out of 52 Weeks of Socks, Volume 1. I didn't grab the book on my way out the door this morning, but I'll link the pad. Pad's available for individual purchase. And I never have finished objects. And I have 5 million whips because, guys, here's the other sock. All I literally have to do is Kitchener the toe.
And it'll happen.
And it will happen someday. But I got to the point where, and I know exactly what it was. I was knitting on it, and I was in a place where I couldn't Kitchener the toe closed right in that moment. So I threw it in its little project bag, and it sat there now for probably about a month and a half.
And it'll take you 5 minutes.
It'll take me 5 minutes when I can eventually do it. This is why I never finished it, because I had something else I had to do. I had to drop it and do something else right away. And this is why I never have finished objects and why I have too many whips. But anyway, these are a lot of fun. I used one of my last year. I was a member of the Farmer's Daughter Fibers Sock of the Month Club. And this was one of the sets that I got. I did not keep up with my goal of making a pair of socks a month. I think I have 5 pairs, so almost half the year I have. But so I've got some sock sets that are now in my stash that'll kick around, and I will eventually use them for other patterns from the 52 Weeks of Socks book. But these are a lot of fun. They've got these little itty bitty noops just up here on the leg.
Oh gosh, I didn't.
Yeah, they're little teeny tiny ones. It's a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun to make. Just a little bit of color work. Then some areas where it was just plain knitting. These were pretty fast to do. But yes, unlike Debbie, I do not do long cuffs, and I don't do super long legs either. So it's just a matter of knowing what you like, in socks. If you like a long leg and you're looking, I followed the pattern pretty much on these. But if you're looking at that leg and you're like, oh, but I like a really long leg, it's not a big deal. You would just knit more here before you did the toe, before you did the heel. And I do a Fish Lips Kiss heel on all my socks. It's a short row heel, and it just fits I've got a narrow little heels, so it fits my heels really well. I know some people complain it doesn't fit them. So it really, in sock knitting, like I substitute that heel in, it doesn't matter. I think the pattern had a heel flap and guess it. I don't, unless you give me a really compelling reason why you've put a heel flap and guess it and why I should do that in the socks. I'm not doing it. I just sub out. So that's the great thing about sock knitting, is that you find what works for you. And then a lot of things like the heels, toe styles, cuff styles, they're interchangeable. It doesn't really matter what your pattern is telling you to do. You can sub in the one that works for you. So they're done. I just have to Kitchener the other time. Maybe I'll sit down this afternoon and just get that done so it can stop bothering me. Because now that I found that sock in that bag, it's going to bother me that it's sitting there like that.
Yeah. And then,
But anyway,
got-
well, what are your whips? Because I don't have anything else done. I showed my gnome.
Mhm. Well, my whip just came off the needles last night.
Oh no!
I'm working on the Hawley sweater, which I think I should have brought it up actually. The Hawley sweater is one that I also bought yarn for at a festival. But y'all, I was telling somebody in the Thursday night group, was telling the Thursday night group, somebody commiserated with me because they did the same thing. When I go to a festival or when I really find a project I like and I've got the yarn for it, it goes in a bag
Right.
with the pattern.
Yeah.
So that I can remember where I bought the yarn.
And why you bought what you bought it for.
So, because I got out of the habit a few years ago of just buying single skeins of stuff just because, oh, I like this color. I think I'll take it home. I now buy projects. I went through every project I had in Erin or every one that I had yarn and pattern for and didn't want to do any of them.
Oh.
So I sat there for hours going through Ravelry to see if there was something that I might want to cast on. I have all this yarn with patterns, enough yarn for the pattern. Some of it even has the yarn partially wound.
That's the small danger, right? That's the small dangers. And you're like, I don't want to make this anymore, but I have this yarn. What can I use it for?
So I started going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I did.
This is when pattern filters on Ravelry become your friend.
Well, I did, but I mean, I see and some of them, truthfully, I buy them at a festival. So anyway, I cast on Hawley last night because I have the yarn for it. This is a Sarah Solomon pattern. It's called Hawley, Hawley. I love the oversized fit of it. Let me show you another picture where you see the front of it. And it's, I love it. It's about 10 inches of ease on it.
Very cute.
So I really like it. Bought the yarn for it at Rhinebeck. Okay.
Yeah.
Bought the yarn for it. It has been sitting in a bag.
Okay.
So I went and cast that on a couple days ago. And it's you use a 5 and a 7 needle. So it's worsted weight yarn. And I'm doing it out of nightshades and daylights.
Okay.
Daylights, which is a Harrisville yarn. And so then I got it. I love their booth every time I go. Them and Bare Naked Wools. I always catch them every time I go to a yarn festival.
They come to Maryland too, just in case you want.
Yeah, they do come to Maryland, and I have probably another shopping list that I'll get for Maryland. But so I had everything to make this pattern. It called for 5 and 7 needles, had all my supplies sitting there, getting cast on, doing it. And I cast on with the smaller needle because that's usually what you do when you cast on. Read right over the fact that you're supposed to use the regular needle because it's not a ribbing neck. It's one that you start knitting right away. So I got all the short rows done. You know where this is going.
I keep going. I know where it's going.
Yeah. And then it said change to the main needle larger cord. And I was like, okay, let me just go back and see what that main needle size is again. And it was a 7. And I went back up and looked, and I was supposed to be on the main needle the entire time. And so it just kind of came all out. So that's on. I can't say it's on the needle, but it is in the bag with the needle in the bag. Okay.
And eventually you'll come back to it.
Now I'm going to go on home later today and cast on in the snow that we're expected to get.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Nothing's happening right now, but we'll see.
So, and then my other work in progress or whip, no, it's not a whip. Never mind.
It's not a whip yet.
Yeah, it's not a whip yet.
Anyway,
that's it. That's what I've got going on. Because I cast off, everything came off the needles. Have you ever had that happen?
Yes.
It's like I had like 4 whips going on and it all came off the needles within days of each other. So
that
that's
doesn't
why,
happen to me.
that's why I sat there going through Ravelry, because I went into the closets, I pulled out all the bags and laid them all out. And I thought, I want to do a sweater. So I eliminated all of these because these weren't sweaters. I want to do another sweater. I laid all the sweater stuff out. No, not that one. No, I don't think so. No. Let me go on Ravelry and see what they.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was that's kind of what happened. Everything came off around the same time, which rarely happens for me. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's all right. So I managed to snag one of the extras for the Chelsea Yarns 2023 Advent calendars. This theme this year was I Love New York.
I've seen a lot of these projects going on.
Yeah, I cast on this pattern. It's called All My Favorite Colors Wrap by Black Cat Knitting. It's essentially a big arrow. Get back over. There we go. It's a big arrow. So you start with like the fletched end, and then you go towards the point. And so it's just really simple. It's garter stitch. There are these little eyelet rows occasionally. You blend one, fade one color into the next. And this year's colorways from Chelsea, she typically does kind of a fade, or at least a fade-ish kind of set for her 24 minis, 25 minis. I wanted a pattern that would use Christina, the dyer, did a really cute poncho where she held them all with mohair, and it's adorable. But I really wanted, what I can't stand with the mini skein projects is that then you use like a third of the mini. And then you have like, no, I wanted something that was designed to pretty much use the entire mini. And that's what this pattern does. Like you see, there's very little left of each of these minis. Some of it, there's almost none left. Just depends on what section you're doing with which color. But it's just all garter stitch. It's very easy. I've pretty much got it memorized at this point. So that's what I started. I think I've gotten through, I think this is day 13, this pink that I've just started on. So this will be, I'll work on this probably most of this year. Anytime I need some social knitting, I'll just pick it. Yes, my stitch stoppers that are on there. Yeah. So I'll just pick this up whenever I need, like if I travel or if I need some social knitting, this piece of my hair knit into it. If I need some travel knitting, and I'm being really, really good as I go and weaving in my ends. I've only got a couple of them hanging out here. So I've been weaving in my ends as I go. I'm trying to stay disciplined about that, so you're not left at the end with 5 million ends to weave in. So probably by the summertime, I'll have this done. I just started it, and I started off at the beginning. I was like, ooh, I could almost do a color a day, but then I had other things going on. So it was like, it's okay. I don't need to do it anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it anytime soon. But like I said, that'll be my social knitting, my travel knitting. It'll take me a good chunk of the year probably to finish, but I got the sparkle. I don't know if you can see it on camera.
So you had a choice to get a sparkle.
Well, so I resisted when she listed them for pre-order in April. I resisted. I was like, I don't need another advent calendar this year. I'm not buying one. Not doing it. And then when it got to be the end of October, just about the beginning of November, and she had shipped them all out, and she, like most dyers, she does a handful of extras just in case. Just in case something goes wrong, a box goes astray, she has a lot of extras. So everybody's boxes have been delivered. So she got to that second week of November, and she's like, okay, I have a handful of extras. I'm going to put them on the website this day, this time. And then I bought one. I could resist when they were a pre-order, but when it turned into here's the 12 extras stacked on my kitchen table. If you want one, be on the website at this time, and good luck to you.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
But yeah, she did sparkle and non-sparkle.
That's a good one. That's a pretty popular Advent.
Yes.
Collection.
And she does a really good job. Does a really good job. She's a good job with all the packaging and everything. They come in these cute little muslin bags with numbers stamped on them, and so yeah, it's good.
Did you want to show any of your Hana?
Not right now. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a little while.
Okay, so casting on next, Erin. What are you casting on next?
I'm casting on the 2024 Yearlong KAL next. That's what my whole life consists of right now. But are we ready to talk about that, or you want to keep?
No, we're ready.
We're ready. It's time. All right. So it's January. January means my whole life.
Get
comfortable.
Coffee.
My whole life consists of the Yearlong KAL. So if you're not familiar, every year we pick what we do is that we pick a particular technique, knitting technique, that we want to focus on for the year. And then we find a pattern that really encompasses this technique. And we pick something on purpose that on its own, if you came across the pattern on Ravelry, you would go, gosh, that's really lovely. I'd love to make that, but I'm just not sure. That looks like it might be a step beyond what I can do. Or I would worry that I would get partway through and then I get stuck and I just don't know. And you're hesitant about it because it just seems kind of big. It's a big project and you're just not sure that you can tackle it. We deliberately pick something like that. And what we do is we take the pattern and we break it down into manageable chunks. And then we work through the chunks spread out over the course of a whole year so that it doesn't completely take over your knitting time. Like that's never the goal, that this is the one project you work on all year and that's it. Because I don't know about you, but I would get to April and then like want to put my eyes out and be like, forget it. Because I've done it before, right? I've decided I'm going to do this big project this year and then it's gone. So we spread it out, but you have support sessions that break the pattern down. So you have somebody walking with you through the pattern the whole way. And then we have, because there's lots of people who are working together on it. So we have you have a community of other people who are doing the same thing. And we have some opportunities for you to interact with them. And so that's the thought process behind the Yearlong KAL. So you learn a lot about a particular topic, but then we also help you gain some extra skills, some things that you can put into your knitter's toolbox that then you can apply to anything you make. Tips and tricks and things about like, how do you calculate positive ease for a garment? I have this pattern and the designer tells me it's supposed to have 10 inches of positive ease. What the heck does that mean? What size do I pick? Things like that. We help you gain these extra skills. Then you can transfer to any other knitting project. We've been doing it this is year number 7. Year number 7. And this year's theme that I wanted to focus on is cables and modular design. So we are doing this pattern. This is called Hana by Junko Okamoto. Junko is an amazing pattern designer. She's been on my bucket list for a long time. She has a lot of really very cool, unique designs that aren't in and of themselves difficult. They're just she's a little out of the box sometimes with her thinking. And so you actually do learn a ton making her patterns. This is an oversized sweater that has all of these different cable patterns. But if you'll notice something, those cables are running in different directions. And that's because what you're going to do is you're going to make it's done in pieces, which is really good for heavily cabled garments. Because if you do them as a traditional top-down seamless sweater, the problem with cables, they eat a lot of yarn and they can be heavy. And so if you just do a top-down seamless sweater, you run the risk of the cables pulling on the fabric, gravity taking over, and stretching things out over time. Now, there's other things that you can do besides just seaming, and we cover that in the knit-along too. Your yarn choice is really important, that kind of thing. But because this is seamed, that gives structure to the garment, and it helps prevent that from happening. Essentially, what we're going to do is make a front panel and a back panel. And what we'll do is we will we'll cast on and knit a section of the sweater, and then we'll bind off, and then we'll come back and we'll pick up stitches along an edge, and then we'll knit off in a different direction, and then we'll bind off, and then we'll come back and pick up stitches on and knit a different direction. So that's where the modular design comes in. We're going to learn a lot about cable knitting, obviously, both with and without a cable needle. I will show you how to do both. And if you can learn, here's another picture of the sweater. It's designed to have an oversized fit. Basically, you're making your new favorite sweatshirt to wear. So
pretty.
Yep. So we're going to learn about cables. We're going to learn how to work with and without a cable needle. We're going to learn how to read charts. It is all charted. If you've never done chart reading before, I'm going to teach you how to do that. We're going to learn about selecting your size. You're selecting an appropriate size based on the schematic and how much ease you want in your garment. We're going to learn about seaming. Actually, Junko has a seaming technique that she uses where she puts the pieces together with contrasting yarn and embroidery.
You could really see it in that picture.
You don't have to do that if you don't want to, though. I will also show you how to just do plate matcher stitching so if you don't want the contrast. And then there is also some additional extra embroidery details you can put on top of the sweater once it's all done to kind of help define the different pieces where we did the modular pickups.
Like that.
Yep. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. That's completely optional, but that's another skill that we're going to learn. So we're going to learn about cables, modular design, seaming, choosing the size, matching yarn to your project to get the desired finished object, all kinds of things. The support sessions are taught via video. So we use a platform called Teachable. They're all pre-recorded videos that release over the course of the year. So you can watch the videos as many times as you want. You can pause them. You can back them up. You can watch them over and over again. And they are yours forever. Essentially, once the knit-along ends, you will always have access to those videos. It's a video class like Craftsy used to be. What will also happen is that every month you will get a exclusive email newsletter that's just for KAL participants. It will have the links to any new videos that are available for you to watch. It will have information about our live Q&A sessions. So every time a new set of videos releases, you will get about a week to watch the videos, and then there will be a live Q&A session. You can attend that either in person here at the shop, or you can attend that virtually via the private exclusive Facebook group that is for our year-long knit-along participants. So I live stream the Q&A sessions through the Facebook group, so you can watch them and you can participate live via the Facebook if you are not local. If you can't attend the session because you've got something else going on that day, the live Q&A streams are saved in the Facebook group for 30 days. So you can go back and watch it after the fact. You'll get an email newsletter at least once a month that will have, new videos linked, information about any live Q&A sessions, extra resources. If there are extra things tidbits that might help, things like I knit, I'm an English knitter. I throw. I don't tension my yarn with my left hand. So if there's ever a time where I'm like, ooh, you know what, a continental knitter might work this stitch differently, I will go find a YouTube video that walks you through how to do it with your left hand, how to tension with your left hand, and link it in the newsletter. Things like that. If there's extra resources I think might be helpful, that goes in the newsletter. And then other fun little bits. We do, book recommendations or recipes or that kind of thing. So that is what you get as the year-long participant. You get this video support sessions, which are yours to keep forever. You get a monthly email newsletter, exclusive to participants, and you get the Facebook group where you can interact with your fellow participants. It's another avenue to ask questions. You can chat with folks, you can share your progress, and then the live Q&A sessions are streamed and then saved via the Facebook group. So this is year 7 total. This is the 3rd year we've done it with this format, with Teachable. We've had a lot of really positive feedback. People really love the fact, because sometimes life happens, right? And you sign up for something like this at the beginning of the year and you get started and you're all excited, and then something happens and you have to put the project down. The videos are there. They're there for you, and they belong to you forever. So if you have to put it down for a few months and you technically fall behind the schedule, it's not a big deal. You can pick the project up later in the year.
Yeah.
The videos are there. They will walk you through everything you need to know.
And y'all, this is really, we do this, when we do this every year, you're getting a great deal and a lot of content for your money. Because we are going to release these classes later. And we're getting ready to upload some of their.
Finally happen. We'll finally be launching Dances with Wool University, which is our teachable platform to the world.
Which you'll get access to some of the past knit-alongs on there, but you won't get the Facebook page and the live Q&As and the newsletter with extra helpful links in the newsletter. And so it really is a good deal, you know, that we offer for the first basically the inaugural, you know, when it first comes out for its release. So hop on this opportunity to learn some new skills. Erin is just a pro at this, and she really does walk you through everything. The one thing I didn't hear you mention that we probably need to make sure, if you think you might be interested in doing this, brand new knitter, no. However,
I get asked every year. Well, first of all, a lot of people will tell me, well, I'm a beginner. And then they'll proceed to tell me that they've made sweaters before and they've knit cables before and they've done this, but I'm a beginner. So that's something we struggle with a little bit. We all classify ourselves as beginners. But anyway, so if you just took our Knitting 101 class this past Saturday, I'll probably tell you this might be a little bit beyond. But there will be things that I assume you know how to do. And I'm not going to teach you how to cast on. I'm not going to, because there's no special cast on for that. If there were a specific cast on that the designer wanted you to do, then that would be different. But there's no special cast on for this project. There's no special bind off that has to be done. So I'm not going to show you how to cast on and bind off. I assume you know how to do that. I assume you know how to knit and purl. I'm not going to show you how to do that. I assume you know how to do basic increases and decreases. So how to knit front and back, how to do a make one left or a make one right, knit two together, slip, slip, knit, that kind of thing. I'm not going to show you how to do that. I am going to assume that if I talk about the right side of the work versus the wrong side of the work, you know what I mean. If I talk about garter stitch versus stockinette stitch, I assume you know what I mean. I assume you know how to read a pattern, right? I'm not going to walk you through how to read the pattern. I assume you know, we were going to talk about how to do charts, and I'm going to talk about how to read the schematic on the pattern, specific things like that. But just how to follow a pattern, I assume you know how to do that. And then if you have knit a sweater before, that's helpful. Just because you understand how the shoulders relate to the sleeves, relate to this. It doesn't have to have been a successful sweater before. Like if you've made a sweater and you're like, it did not fit and I did not like the way it fit, and that's okay because you learned a lot of useful information that will help you pick a better size for this project. But because it's a really unique construction, because we're making everything in pieces and then putting them together, I'm not going to require that you have made a sweater before. It's just going to be helpful if you've done it before. But we're all working flat. Nothing's done in the round in this sweater. So don't use a title to yes, I'm a beginner. Yeah, don't put yourself in a box.
If you can do those things,
then you can do the year-long.
You can do this.
You don't have to have any experience with cables. I'm going to teach you how to do that. You don't have to know how to read charts. I just filmed a whole bunch of videos about how to read charts and how to knit cables, both with and without a cable needle. But if you already know how to knit cables and you already know how to read from charts, but you're like, ooh, but learning how to do it without a cable needle, I've never done that before.
Yeah. And two, we can't emphasize this enough. It is not meant to consume your knitting life. No. We put it into small chunks for a reason so that you can have other projects going on. And like Erin said, you can even put it down and come back to it weeks later and the videos are all still there. So really consider it. And we're pushing it because this is the last week.
Yes.
And we don't want anybody coming back and going, oh, I meant to sign up and I couldn't. Because this is a hard, fast deadline because we have to move on. We have to get the yarn ordered, all things
Mm-hmm.
are on a deadline. So
Right.
that's why this week is it. So you
Mhm.
have until the 20th to sign up. Don't feel like you have to have your yarn picked out or know what you're
No.
doing. If you want to participate in the video,
Mhm.
teachable platform class on twists and turns, then you need to sign up before the 20th.
Yep.
We need to have that registration in.
Yep.
And then you have another week or so to work
Yes,
on
and
it.
then you have then yarn orders we're taking
Mhm.
through the 27th.
So what happens
So.
now is when you sign up, Erin will send you a little welcome email that has all your information on how to order your yarn if you want to order your yarn through us. She'll also have the link to the Teachable platform so that you have about, 5 or 6 videos, right? Where you'll
yes, right now I've got about 5 or 6 up
right
to watch
where
right
you'll
now.
read about how to determine your size, how to determine the yarn, because we have 3 choices of yarn that we recommend for the project. So how to choose,
but you don't have to purchase. You don't have to. We don't want people to feel like they have to buy you. Obviously, we would love your support. But I do talk about if you have yarn in your stash, well, what are you looking for? Because it's not just, let me just grab a worsted weight yarn out of my stash. There are some considerations.
And then before you order it, you have to know how much you need.
Right.
So that's one of the videos. So just sign up. If you want to participate, sign up, do it, and then watch these videos, and you have a while yet to decide on your yarn. So so we want to have you join us. This is we just get wonderful feedback from everybody that participates, and we get repeat customers keep coming back because it is such a great year of a knit along. So so join us. We'd love it. So that's my little spiel. That's very little. I have very little to do with this. Erin is the one who is at the helm of this. So, but I can be a cheerleader and say, yes, let's go. You want to do this.
Yep. So that is what we are doing.
Yep. So I have on here that is what you are doing next. That is your whole life.
That is my whole thing.
And Kitchener.
Well, I have to Kitchener the toe of the sock, and then I have to get started on filming because, of course, the way it works is that I make the sweater, but I have to film the videos as I make the sweater, so it impedes the progress.
My next is this right here. Yeah. And I'm doing it because we just got the shelter in, so we got the Lana.
This is the winter 2024 issue of Lana magazine.
And I have been wanting to do another vest. I really love my petite knit vest that I did about a year ago, or a year and a half ago. And I saw this. It's an oversized vest. This is what I want to do. It's called Kettle Cove, and it's by Jennifer Brow. And so I am going to be casting that on next.
Yep.
And I'm going to be doing it in shelter. So
which we'll tell you about in just a second. Yep.
So that's my next.
So the 2024 winter issue of Lana is here. Pom Pom's last print issue, I think, is available this week. Isn't it the 18th?
Yes.
So it'll go on sale the 18th. So the last issue of Pom Pom magazine ever, actually. We have it, but we can't sell it to you till the 18th. So that is coming as well this week. So other new things in the shop. Do you want to start with?
Yeah, we're not going to go back 3 months. Okay.
No, we're just going to tell you things that have been showing up here in the last little bit
that you might want to consider.
The doodle decks, these have been super popular. These are just really fun little.
I got the one that's
it's
wrapped.
Okay. So they're just like little playing cards, essentially, but they have choose your theme, so it's a way to play with little color work patterns, especially to put into like a basic cowl or a basic sock. So they come in these themed decks. This is the spring deck here. But these have been really super popular. So you can like lay them out on the table in front of you and use them to help you kind of design some color work things. So these have been popular.
Yeah, I was looking at them the other day. I had gone through a deck. I meant to bring the one that wasn't packed. I'm so sorry. But each card is a different motif.
Yes.
And it's like each one I think has 14. I think it's 14 rows and 14 stitches. And the motif, I think they're all pretty uniform that way. And then she puts in a couple of patterns. So she put, well, not patterns, I guess, but patterns.
2 cal. Yeah, there's one
cal.
instructional card, 2 cal pattern cards, and 51
Right.
color work motif cards.
But the
per
motifs
deck.
have the same stitch count so that you can put different motifs, like stack them and do different motifs on your cowl or sweater. I know.
I love a little bee.
And so you basically you become a designer. It's pretty cool.
Very easy.
But she gives you the pattern and you just decide which motifs you want in there. Each card is different and they've been very popular. Yes. So give it a try if it, just something fun to do, something new to do.
Yeah, something fun and different. And then the color of the month for January from Emma's, we get it in on Hella Hanks. This is January 2024. It's this really beautiful kind of blues and greens, and there's a little bit of darker speckling in it.
And keep an ear out or an eye out on our website. We've got their Marvelous Mohair getting ready to come in their drapey DK.
Yes, so we have more Emma's bases coming. That's one of the new things that will be coming in the shop in January. So we'll be picking up some new bases from Emma's.
Shelter.
So we are so excited to join the stockist family for Brooklyn Tweed. We have been working on this again for months, bringing in Brooklyn Tweed yarn. We have started with Shelter because it is one of our 3 recommended yarns for the Hana pattern for the year-long knit-along.
We're getting ready to bring in their DK.
Yeah. Shelter is a 100% American Targhee Columbia wool. Targhee Columbia, those are 2 different breeds of sheep. This is a rustic yarn without, it's not rough though. I don't want you to, because Targhee wool is, Targhee's sheep have been, they're what's called an improved breed because they've got some merino blended in with them. So it's not scratchy. I don't want people thinking that it's scratchy, but it is definitely more rustic. It is on the more minimally processed side. You are going to occasionally find a little bit of veg matter, not too much though. But this is American raised wool that is spun and dyed and everything in the US. So it comes in, they're tweedy. All the colors are a little bit tweedy. The tweed, the little flecks are the same color as the base yarn. Sometimes they're slightly different, but they do have all that little bit of tweedy texture to them. This is a lovely yarn. It is woolen spun. It means that it has it's light, lofty, worsted weight yarn. These are 50-gram skeins with 140 yards per skein.
You pick it up and you don't feel like
it weighs it weighs nothing.
But the structure it's going to give your garment,
really great, and it blooms beautifully. I meant to grab one of my swatches for Hana and show you.
If you don't know what we mean by blooming, you take these yarns and you're knitting with it, and because they're so minimally processed, sometimes your stitches will look a little thicker or a little thinner, and they don't look as as even. I mean, but you block these things. And everything the spaces just fill in, and it's just because the yarn beautiful. It poofs.
Beautiful it has fabric. To do with the crimp that's in the wool that was used to make the yarn. So they'll poof. Basically, they go when you have that experience. You make a swatch, you put it in water, and you lay it out, dries, and it goes poof. This will go poof.
Yeah, this will go poof.
Shelter will go poof. So that's beautiful. And then what's next is their DK was what the next.
The next to this, yes, we're bringing in the DK, and we're going to be bringing in their fingering.
Yes, over the course of the year, you'll see more lines from Brooklyn Tweed coming in.
Keeping my fingers crossed that I'll be able to get them both by the crawl in April, but we will definitely
see what we can do. Yes. And so another new yarn, this is also a recommended yarn for the knit-along. This is Lanas by Barocco. This is 100% non-superwash wool. This is another kind of light and lofty wool, really pretty heathered colorways. So this is another great choice for the year-long knit-along, but we brought it in for everybody. So everybody could take a look. This would pair beautifully with Spin Cycle Dream State.
Yeah, we were just
If you're
pulling-
looking for to
God.
do a color work yoke sweater this winter, this is it's a great friendly price point for 100% non-superwash wool. And so, we talk about it all the time, man. Buy the 1 or 2 skeins of Spin Cycle for your contrast color for your yoke. Get a budget-friendly yarn for the rest of the sweater, right? You don't need to spend $400 to make a beautiful garment. It's not always, sometimes it's fun to spend $400 to make a beautiful garment, but it's not always necessary. And so Lana's is a great, great option.
But guys, I will tell you, this Barocco's quality. I mean, that we have been with them since we first opened the store. Their quality is just, in my opinion, just some of the best yarns out there.
Look at that trio.
Yeah, I know. I know.
This would make a beautiful simple summer sweater like what you've got.
Oh, yeah, that would.
Those
that would
colors?
be definitely an option because it's worsted weight. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Wouldn't that be beautiful for a super simple summer sweater?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So that's another new yarn that has hit the shop here in the last couple of weeks. So the third option for the knit-along, in case you're wondering, is Blue Sky wool stock,
which is one of our shop
tried
favorites.
and true shop favorite yarns.
And then another one that is total quality, a U.S. company, just great quality. So what we have coming up, guys, we have Aster Fiber Company coming.
First trunk show of the year. Yay!
Yes. Beautiful.
Yes.
Just gorgeous. Yes. Very vivid colors, kind of intense, but based on nature. And she visited, I think, at the beginning of last year. And it was one of our most successful trunk shows we've had all year. She's coming back. She's from Southwest Virginia. And we'll have Aster Fiber Company in the shop from Saturday to Saturday. So the 20th to the 27th. So come by and look. If you're not local, no problem. There is a link at the very top of our homepage on our website, at the very tip top. If you click that, you can click a virtual event with us.
Virtual shopping appointment.
Yep. And virtual, shopping. And we'll take the camera around and actually show you and ship it right to your door. So, don't let that stop you if you're not local. This is a beautiful trunk show. She went to, she was at one of the fiber festivals not too long ago, and just her booth was packed. So it was wonderful. So, and then we've talked about the KAL that is coming up. You're going to hear a lot in our newsletter, and still buzzing in the shop about that for a while now. So we've got a busy January coming up. So you're going to hear this. And so it is now recorded.
Yes.
Yes. So we will promise, Scout's honor, to podcast again before too long.
Yes. We will get back on our monthly.
Back on track.
We typically shoot for about once a month on the podcast, every 4 to 5 weeks. So we will see you back in February.
And I just want to tell you, Marcy, Marcy, you're so sweet. Your KALs are the best. So just kudos to Erin for everything she does with that, because we think she's the best too. So I'm going to just tell you again how you can shop with us. We have an online store, danceswithwoolrva.com, and there's a shop link there. You can, and we do flat rate shipping. So that's one way you can shop with us. Come in, where our hours are also on our website, but come in and shop the shop, and come see us. We'd love to see you. So you can find us also on YouTube. If you're here, you already know that. And again, subscribe to our newsletter. We can't stress that enough. That's how you get all the news. And because God knows it's been since October since we podcast, so you're not getting all the news this way.
No.
You're missing a lot in the time in between.
Yep.
So sign up for our newsletter, because that's the quickest way to get all to be in the know about what's happening in the shop. And join us for Fridays on Facebook. Inspire
Yes,
me.
We're live at 10 a.m. most Fridays on Facebook
Yeah.
with a new product or pattern or kit or class preview or what have you.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us today. We were so glad to be able to sit down and talk to you about what's going on in the shop. And we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.